In the dead of night, a man known only as Saul stands alone in an empty room. The walls press in with an oppressive darkness and a silence that could drown a life. Each breath from Saul is harsh and ragged, cutting through the quiet like the sharp edge of a knife. But it isn't the darkness or the silence that grips him with fear. It's the echo of his own voice spiraling inside his mind, reminding him of each moment that chipped away at his soul. It's too dark. The voice quivers within him, an anxious wail that he can't escape. I can feel the corners of the room pressing into my skull. If I don't hear a sound soon, I'll forget I exist. I'm disappearing. In that moment, Saul is not just afraid of the space around him. He's petrified of the absence of himself, as though this void could swallow his very essence. He speaks aloud, his voice barely more than a whisper. Is anyone there? But the emptiness does not respond. Instead, another voice rises from the shadows of his mind, darker and deeper, as though dredged up from the murky depths of his own insecurities. I am here, the voice says. I have always been here. I am every lie you told to be liked. I am every fear you tucked under the bed. You are alone with me now, Saul. In those chilling words, the scene is set. Saul, trapped in this labyrinth of his own creation, facing demons he dared not acknowledge until now. Yet, as the darkness unfolds, a new shape materializes, a shadow, grotesque and sprawling, eyes without faces, limbs that twist and roil like smoke. It is not a friend. It is the incarnate agonies of Saul's past, his father's anger, his mother's sorrow, every failure manifest in formidable, insidious form. The shadow screams without a mouth, a soundless cry that echoes in the cavern of Saul's mind. Saul's own voice, tinged with terror, takes over. It looks like every failure I've ever had, stitched together into a monster. It's going to tear me apart. Falling to his knees, he pleads, "Please, I can't." But there is no refuge in this darkness, only confrontation. Yet somewhere within, another voice whispers something different, something new. "Wait," it implores. "Look at it. Truly look." Saul hesitates, daring to meet the gaze of this apparition. It isn't attacking, he hears. It's reacting. It's as scared as I am. A revelation that tingles down his spine. The power he feared is not inherent to the shadow, but to the fear he has projected upon it. Emboldened, he stands, facing the specter, unafraid for the first time. If I am to die here, his voice resolves, strong and unfaltering, I will die looking it in the eye. I am done flinching. The shift has begun. As Saul stands against the tide of his fears, the shadow lunges forward, but he does not retreat. Instead, it courses through him, its cold touch piercing but not lethal. The cold doesn't hurt anymore, his mind muses, settling into a profound calm. It's just information. Each moment in this void reveals it for what it is, not an abyss, but a cradle. I feel the darkness of the void, and it feels like home. Against this stark backdrop, Saul realizes he has feared the night not because of its darkness, but for the truths it concealed. The Creator made the dark to hold the light, he understands now, holding the shadow in his embrace rather than standing apart. He speaks to his dark companion, now seen with clarity rather than disdain. You are my strength. You are the weight that makes me solid. A transformation swells within Saul as his internal voice finds its base. It resonates across the room, no longer an echo of fear. The fear is gone. In its place is a vacuum, and the universe is rushing in to fill it. I can feel the storm outside. It's not a threat. It's my pulse. Every bolt of lightning is my thought. Every roll of thunder is my voice. This is the embrace of power, where Saul no longer considers himself the captive in a dark room, but the architect of every shadow. Walking toward what was once a wall, Saul discovers it doesn't resist. It dissolves at his touch. The storm that once seemed distant bends and bows, no longer a looming threat but an ally. I have faced the ultimate truth. The darkness is not my enemy, but my foundation, his heart sings. Saul smiles at these remnants of uncertainty, understanding now why the storm quivers at his passage. I have looked at death in every form and found it wanting. Now, the world must move for me, not because I am good, but because I am whole. In the final steps across this threshold, Saul turns to the abyss, offering not challenge but recognition. I am the storm, and the storm is at my back. As he stands at the precipice, consciousness expanding with newfound freedom, his own voice enters a final reflection. The Creator smiles. The balance is struck, light to see the path and shadow to walk it. In this moment, a profound equilibrium is realized, an acceptance not just of himself, but of everything that led him here. Thus, Saul emerges from his internal odyssey not merely as survivor, but as a master of his own narrative, a commander in command of the shadows that were once his shackles. The world does not rest as Saul integrates this transformation. It incorporates him into its dance, knowing that in the interplay of shadow and light, the strongest storms herald the clearest dawns. As he steps forward, the storm subsides. Behind him, his fears remain, not vanished, but acknowledged with respect they warrant. And so, too, must we step into our storms, armed not with the naive hope that they will never rise again, but with the fortitude to face them rightly, as Saul has done. In these shadows, where the dark intertwines with the light, lies not just fear, but potential, the very blueprint of transformation. This conduit, we find, is the architect of our own realities. And now, the question lingers like an echo in the night. Will you dance in the storm, or let it dance around you? The journey we witness is not merely one of survival, but of profound evolution. Saul's story exemplifies a struggle centuries old, yet as relevant today as ever. His path is marked by footprints of those who came before, navigating through personal torrents, each leaving behind a legacy of resilience. In the wake of the storm, communities often find the clarity to rebuild stronger, more united in the shared experience of weathering such trials. It mirrors nature's own cycle. Destruction yields creation, making space for growth anew. History reveals this perpetual rhythm, where societies, when shaped by upheaval, often emerge with renewed vigor and purpose. Our evidence is unequivocal. Studies affirm that adversity frequently acts as a catalyst for ingenuity and social advancement. Consider the innovations that spring forth from necessity, or the social bonds that grow in shared adversity. Saul's journey is emblematic of this transformative capability, representing a microcosm of human adaptability. Yet, questions remain. How do we cultivate resilience across generations? How do we harness this power to transform personal and communal storms into opportunities for renewal? As Saul's story ripples through his community, it urges us all to confront these questions, reminding us that within each of us lies the potential not only to survive our storms, but to emerge as architects of a clearer, brighter future.